Close your eyes for a second. Actually, don't. You're watching them. But tonight, when you do, something is going to happen that science still cannot fully explain. You are going to leave, not physically. But the person who closes their eyes tonight is not quite the same person who experiences what comes next. So where do you actually go? Every night, roughly 90 minutes after you fall asleep, your brain shifts into a completely different mode. Your eyes begin darting rapidly behind your closed lids. Your body goes nearly paralyzed, and somewhere inside your skull, a version of you wakes up inside a world your brain built entirely from scratch. This is REM sleep. And what happens inside it is one of the strangest things that occurs in any human life, every single night, without exception. Here is what your brain is actually doing. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic, rational thinking, and the awareness that you are you, goes almost completely quiet. At the same time, the emotional and visual centers of your brain light up like they are fully awake. The result is a conscious experience with no logic filter. A world that feels completely real, generated entirely by your own mind, with no input from the world outside. Neuroscientist Anil Seth calls this a controlled hallucination. He argues that what we call normal waking reality is also a kind of controlled hallucination, just one that is anchored to real sensory input. When you dream, the anchor lifts. Your brain keeps generating the experience, but nothing outside you is shaping it anymore. Think about what that means. Every dream you have ever had, every impossible landscape, every person who shouldn't be there, every moment of flying or falling or running from something that has no face, all of it was generated entirely by your own brain. You built it, you populated it, and then you forgot you were the one building it and believed it completely. That feeling of total belief is called dream consciousness, and it happens because without the prefrontal cortex running its usual checks, your brain has no way to ask the question it normally asks 1,000 times a day. Does this make sense? In a dream, nothing needs to make sense. So nothing questions whether it does. This is also why you almost never realize you are dreaming while it is happening. The part of your brain that would notice the impossibility is the part that went quiet. You are inside the experience with no observer standing outside it. Researcher Matthew Walker, who has spent decades studying sleep at UC Berkeley, describes dreaming as the brain's overnight therapy session. While the logical mind sleeps, the emotional brain replays experiences, strips away the emotional charge attached to them, and files the memory in a calmer form. You wake up and the thing that felt unbearable yesterday feels slightly more manageable today. Not because the situation changed, because your brain processed it in the dark while you were somewhere else entirely. So where are you exactly while all of this is happening? The honest answer is that nobody fully knows. Your body is here, your brain is running, but the you that reads, thinks, decides, and knows it is alive has stepped back from the controls. Something else is running the simulation, and that something is also you, just a version of you with different rules, different logic, and no awareness that any of this is anything other than real. You come back every morning. You open your eyes. The logical prefrontal cortex slowly switches back on. The dream dissolves, usually within seconds, because the brain that remembers and the brain that dreamed are operating on completely different systems. The experience was real while it lasted, and then it is simply gone. Tonight you will do this again. You will close your eyes, and somewhere around 90 minutes later, you will go somewhere your waking mind cannot follow. You will build a world. You will live inside it, and you will come back not quite remembering where you were. If you want to know what ancient humans dreamed about in that same darkness, that video is right there.